What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. So yesterday we did our initial video on iOS 18 Beta 1 for all of the new features that it has, but as we started doing a deeper dive into it, there are a ton of little changes that make a big difference in this build. So iOS 18 is probably one of the largest changes to iOS in recent memory, and there are a lot of small tweaks to go with these massive changes. Some are visually appearing, some are just animation changes, some are actually very useful, but these are the ones that really weren't fully discussed in the keynote that we have found. So I want to go ahead and go through about 10 to 15 of them that we discovered yesterday, so you guys are aware of them too. Let us know in the comments down below, are you guys installing iOS 18 on any of your devices, or even on your primary carry device? Let us know. Let's jump right into this. Okay, so we installed iOS 18 Beta 1 on our iPhone 15 Pro Max, and one of the first things I want to show you is in the phone app. As you can see here, it looks a little bit more spaced out and cleaner to see. And the biggest call out here is we finally have the ability to just simply dial somebody right with the little call logo right on the right side here, so you can tap it and you will instantly dial them. Again, just looks a little bit more appealing than before. And you have some of those little descriptors here as well as we saw in the system settings yesterday. And again, in this case, it's talking about a new take on voicemail. It's basically talking about live transcriptions where you can answer the call before it technically even hits your voicemail. Nothing crazy there, but I do like this new layout. One thing I do want to touch on that was something that truly was discussed before is the calculator app. And as you can see, you have a ton of new options here for basic, scientific, math notes, and convert. I just want to talk about two of these here, and you just saw one was activated a second ago. It's convert, and conversions are here now in the calculator app. So if you're ever wondering and needing to convert currency levels, $1 is a little under €1. It's 0.93, so it's not quite a one-to-one conversion, but you can change not only currency, you can do angle, area, data, energy, force, fuel, length, power, pressure, speed, temperature. There is a ton of stuff in this new calculator app that makes it very, very valuable to have. Aside from that, scientific is self-explanatory. We know what a scientific calculator looks like, but math notes are very cool. So if you want to add a new note here, not only can you press this little pencil icon and scribble, let's just say 1 + 1 equals, it will recognize it and give you the total right there. You can type it in as you need, but this is amazing. Everyone gave Apple crap for how long it took to bring the calculator app to the iPad, but it was worth it just to get this update alone here in the iPhone. So pretty cool. You can filter it around, save a new note, do what you need as you typically would, but it's awesome. Another one of those smaller changes here is actually rotating Wi-Fi addresses. So if you actually go into your settings and go into Wi-Fi and click on the network you're connected to, you see this new option right down here that says rotate Wi-Fi address. And when you turn this on, it lets you know a rotating Wi-Fi address helps reduce tracking by changing your Wi-Fi address at various times. Tracking can happen when your address always appears the same to other devices and people using the same network as you. So again, a nice little subtle touch there that was not discussed prior. Another welcome change here is under battery. So under battery now, if you go to charging, you now have a ton of different options for battery charging. Not only can you keep optimized on and off even at 100%, but now you can select what level of charging max you want to go to daily, from 80 to 85 to 90 to 95%, and finally 100% charging. Pretty cool. I like this. I think any options more than 0 is useful, so I'm glad they tweaked this out a little bit. The next change is on the lock screen shortcuts that have always been the same forever here, flashlight and camera. Now if you long press and go to customize and select the lock screen, as you can see down here, you can actually remove one and you have a plus sign there and can switch it up to whatever you might like. If you fly a lot and you want to put airplane mode down there, now you can do just that. If you want to switch it to something else, you can see just how many different options Apple is actually giving you to add to your home screen. you can see it keeps scrolling. So voice memos, if you need that, if you're a huge tap to cash person, with this new update as well, you'll be able to add that as well. Let's go ahead and go back to the camera and just set that down and say done like we typically would. And you are good to go. One of the other changes comes courtesy of Apple's new, and I'll click on this to show you, text to satellite. So unfortunately, it is still not available here, but when you go into it, and you can go into a demo, it shows you just how neat this will be. You can still do your demo like you did before, but when you have, or when you are on a carrier that does support this, now you can send text messages, iMessages, just like you would via satellite. Currently, this is still free. However, I am sure over time that will change and become a paid feature. We just don't know when. So one other thing is a visual change again, and I want to go ahead and show you a page with not a lot of icons. If you look over here by the volume buttons, you can see Apple has implemented almost like a bezel effect where it grows right near the volume rocker. And it works the same on the power button too. I'll take a screenshot so you can see it right there as well. It is very cool how they did that. We'll just go ahead and delete all these. But again, it's what makes Apple Apple. It's those little attention to details that make those differences. So nothing great or crazy or even useful, but it is very visually appealing if you're into those kind of things. Another change that no one really expected is flashlight. As you can see, the flashlight animation looks completely different here, and well, that's because of a couple things. Not only does it take up more of the screen and have a new effect, but you can now change by going left to right the beam intensity in a width format. So you can see it is now much thinner and now much wider. There's about looks like two real different levels of brightness or in width of the flashlight, and then obviously up and down will give you the intensity on that as well. So pretty cool. Yet again, Apple being Apple, just kind of doing things a little differently, but I think that looks very, very neat. It's again one of those very weird, small, visually appealing changes that only Apple would even think to implement. Now, aside from that, something I thought was very cool as well, if you have a widget or an app icon, they are now somewhat dynamic. They can morph into one another. So what I mean by that is if you long press on a widget, you can now simply press the button and convert it back down to the icon, or utilize any different sort of widget designs that the app allows. So obviously this is the main one we had. We just went to the app icon, and the third option gives you that last widget. So they are almost dynamic and looks very, very cool. Aside from that, let's jump into the Notes app where we got a couple of updates here that I thought was pretty cool. And this is one I already pre-filled out to show you, to give you an idea. Kind of similar to what Calculator does. As you see, I just put Walmart $70, Publix $30. If you follow a pattern like this, and then put down here, and I truly don't know why a lot of people would want to utilize it this way, but if you ever want to know your costs, if you say Walmart plus Publix and then add an equal sign, you can see it automatically filled in the difference from the 70 plus 30 gives us that $100 threshold. So if you're, a big tracking expense person, this could be very, very helpful for you as well. And then also, as you can see below here, you now can add voice memos in here with transcript. So if you want to do this, you simply just have to go to the paperclip icon and hit record audio. In here, if you want just audio, you'd leave it as is. If you want to have transcript, you have to click that option right on the bottom left side. And we're going to record it. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Phones and Drones. And as we stop it, done. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Phones and Drones. And there you are. I think that's a pretty cool addition that they added here in the Notes app. If you're huge into the Notes app, that will be a welcome addition for you guys. Next thing is going to be settings. Again, going back into here, it's something Apple teased and talked about for a while, but if you go into settings, accessibility, and scroll up a little bit, we now have eye tracking, and this is amazing. It works in the first place in this first beta, but I can only imagine the potential here for some people that might need something like this if they have some sort of disability. This could be amazing. The first time you set it up, it will ask you to track a couple dots, and then once you do, you can see here, it looks like each time you set it up, you'll need to follow the dots. And the way the camera's set up, it's not going to show you, but it works really, really well, surprisingly. Let's turn this off, if that's something you so choose to need to use. One of the other cool things that I have to say is the new Apple Music redesign. It's not anything crazy, but if you jump in here and you're playing something, this is your normal play screen. And then if you go over here, you now have your shuffle, repeat, or continuous play icons up top for your selection. And you can see again, the interface looks very clean. If you happen to want to delete or clear your list, you will have that option up top as well, if that is still needed, or you haven't had a chance to, or you just want to change up what you've been playing. One of the other cool things, and that is going to be the last one I want to show you in this video, is the new animation for voice animations for selecting the kind of voice isolation modes and things like that, and portrait effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close this down and call myself from my other iPhone here, and we'll jump into this and answer it here. And let me turn all the volumes down so we don't have to hear anything else. But where you used to pull down from here to be able to select voice isolation mode and all that, it's been moved and it's under here now. And look at how cool the new voice effects are and the visuals you get when on phone calls and you wanted to change the type of audio you're getting. This block here at the bottom is for the camera if you're utilizing that to show, again, portrait mode and all of those type features. So those are a couple of the kind of little changes we saw in just a day's time, not even, using iOS 18. Let us know what else you find in those comments below. Are you a fan? What do you think of iOS 18? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.